Miners Podcast with Mabushe, episode 11. Today we're just gonna discuss about whether a person with a trade and GCC is an engineer, or you need to have a degree or a diploma to be an engineer. But at the end of the day, you'll make the conclusion with the information that I'll give you. So firstly, engineering is governed by the body called, especially professional engineering, ICASA, right? So you need a degree to be a candidate engineer, right? And then when you register with ICASA with experience, then you become a professional engineer. So usually, when you have your 4-year degree, you become a professional engineer. When you have your PhD tech, you become an engineering technologist, an engineer in technology or engineering technologist. And then when you have your diploma or advanced diploma, you may become a technologist, but usually you become a technician, right? And then you have your artisan guys, which holds trades, right? Your own qualifications. And then there with GCC, you can also become, with intense experience, you can become an industry engineer if you hold that GCC. GCC just means a Government Certificate of Competency. You may get it from the Department of Labor or the Department of Mineral Resources, right? And then with the Department of Labor, I think it's your plant guys, where your food industries, your ESCOM type of vibe. And then with the Department of Mineral Resources, GCC is the one that is specifically for the mines, right? Your mines and your plants that are dealing with processing minerals from the mines. So now, usually, the people that we refer as engineers in the mining industry, they are people that oversee equipment and machinery, sign off of work and stuff like that, those responsibilities, right? But traditionally, an engineer is someone that is involved in the designing of things, of equipment and stuff like that. And industry engineers or people with GCC and just hold a trade ticket usually are not involved in designing of equipment. They are not designing equipment. They can be involved, but they won't sign off. You understand? For example, according to engineering works, right? Someone who can be involved in the design, or someone who can actually sign off a design or an equipment, is someone who has a professional degree or a university degree in engineering and is registered with ICASA in South Africa. So that's according to what is it called? Engineering Act. Engineering Act. I think it's Act 26 or 46. Yeah, I think 26 or 46 of 2000. That qualifies a person to be a professional engineer and gives them the powers to actually be the ones that can lead a team of designing, or who can actually design and sign off that, no, this machinery is good, it can go into the industry, right? So, for example, a GCC person with a trade cannot design a conveyor belt. You understand? Cannot design a conveyor belt. It cannot say no. From the start, we need this type of material to build. No, they cannot do that professionally or legally. They can only, when that thing is functioning in the industry, detect, or the downtime was here. How do we fix this? How do we go about it? How do we service this conveyor belt? That's technically their job, and that's what the industry allows them to do, or that competent certificates allow them to do, and more other responsibilities that an engineer, professional engineer, can carry. You understand? So, and also it's hard. It's more time consuming to become an engineer in the mining industry from an entrant than a person who did who did electrical or mechanical engineering at varsity. Because for them, usually they go under a 2-year program, right? And then they get all that experience from foreman level and whatever, and then they write the ticket and then they become industry engineers. That's the good thing about having a degree. You it just technically doesn't take time for you to become an engineer, especially if you're working for a good company, right? And then so with all that information that I've given you, I think you can decide whether if the person is an engineer or not an engineer. But yeah, when it comes to money, obviously the industry people are gonna chow it. Whether if you have a trade, whether if you are an engineer with a trade and a GCC, you gotta chow it because it's in the industry. I mean, the packages are almost the same as the mine managers, like your 261 or 31 in some cases. You understand? So yeah. It's all about, and then meanwhile the professional engineer, if they're working for consulting firms, because most of them work for consulting firms, it's not like the firms get bargain, they get too much cash flow where they can just give so much money, you understand? So they might be limited in terms of pay, but the pay is still good. Yeah, that's basically the difference. But at the end of the day, you can conclude with all the information that I've given you, whether people are engineers or not engineers, whether you take it from a legal perspective or an informal perspective, which is what is happening in the mining industry, which is the informal perspective what comes in of what is an engineer. So you decide, because also at the same time we have to look at, if I go to another country and then I say that I have GCC, will I be recognized as an engineer or an artisan or technician or whatever, or they will require me to say you have a degree in mechanical engineering and you have this intense experience, and yeah, so we recognize you as an engineer in our country. Like for example in China, in the US, in Australia, who will they recognize as an engineer? Because we have to also bargain, we have to also judge these things from an international perspective, you understand? Yeah. But GCC guys, they chow it, eh? They chow it. I mean, for as long as if you have a government competent, like just like your mine overseer, your mine manager, or